Do you know what we're hearing from the reporters that claimed the Minnesota Vikings could trade Justin Jefferson? You hear that? Crickets. They ain't anywhere to be seen right now. After he signed a 4-year, $140 million extension worth $110 million in guaranteed money. As Tom Cruise would say, show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. And my thought about this contract situation is, what would I do with Justin Jefferson's money? I'm not a millionaire. I'm nowhere close to being a millionaire. But if I was a guy that signed a contract worth $140 million, what would I do with that money? And I was just thinking about it. And if you have an idea, why don't you throw it in the comment section below? And while you're here, hit that subscribe button right there. What would you do with Justin Jefferson's money? And let's caveat everything, this conversation, with specifics. You cannot buy a house and you cannot buy a car, because those are the two obvious answers. I'm looking for more unique answers. You can do things in your house. You can do things in your car, but you can't buy a house or buy a car with this money. And my thought went to a different idea. What I would do with $140 million is I would hire a personal chef. I believe a lot of professional athletes have personal chefs. And I would be a guy that hires a personal chef to cook me all different sorts of food. Because the problem with the food that I make is I make the same thing over and over and over and over again. You know, I'm not a big fan of fish, but fish can be amazing if you know how to cook it, if you know how to blend it. Like, I've tasted salmon that I've made and it tastes okay. And then I've tasted salmon that somebody else made and it was out of my mind, heavenly good. So I would hire a personal chef because the different things that they could make, the deliciousness, the taste buds would explode. So that would be my number one purchase. Thinking about it further, what would I do inside my house? I would put in a basketball court, or at least a basketball hoop, and a gymnasium so that I could play basketball in an air-conditioned area in my own house. I don't even have to go anywhere. I can just shoot some hoops. Another idea, you could hire a landscaping guy to make your house look pretty. But I would still want to mow the lawn. I like mowing the lawn. It's very peaceful. And you know what I like to do? I like to stand inside my house, look out the window, put my hands on my hips like this, and say, wow, that is beautiful. Look at those lines going back and forth. That was an impressive job. So I would hire a landscaper because I don't like the landscape, but I would mow the lawn. Another thing that I would like to buy, I would like to buy a side-by-side four-wheeler kind of thing, because that's kind of fun. I mean, why not? You're $140 million richer than you were before. A side-by-side, a four-wheeler to go around your property with 5 to 6 acres in it because you like to live in a private area in the state of Minnesota. It's kind of nice. You know, maybe see some deer, maybe just take a cruise just for fun. A side-by-side four-wheeler is another idea. If you have ideas, leave them in the comment section below. What would you do if you had Justin Jefferson money? Maybe throw a water slide in your house. That's kind of fun. Go on a vacation is kind of fun. So those are my top ideas. But his press conference was today, and he had some comments. And what specifically stood out to me was the way he was wording things. Now, some guys are going to sign this contract. They'll enter the press conference, say these things because they sound good. It gets the media on your side. It gets the fans and organization on your side, and they won't do them. But I highly doubt that's going to be the case with Justin Jefferson because he seems intentional, and I am buying the things that he is saying.
If at all, who the quarterback is going to be here? What are your thoughts on J.J. McCarthy?
Yeah, I feel like, just with last year's, just with all of the things that happened, all of the quarterback changes that happened, that really didn't really affect me that much. It really didn't matter who was going to be able to throw the ball. I'm always confident in myself and confident who's throwing the ball to give me those type of opportunities and let me just go make a play for the team. I've talked to JJ as soon as he got drafted. I told him confidence is key. Just coming into this league with confidence and being able to have that leadership just right off the bat, being a rookie. There's going to be people that come and help. Of course, I'm going to be that main person to be in his ear and try to teach him and try to prepare him for what we're about to go through. But I told him this league is tough. It's not an easy job to come out here and perform at the highest ability, especially as a rookie. But I definitely will be that main person that he can lean on and help throughout the way.
The way technical difficulties, the way Justin Jefferson is wording things in this press conference speaks to the maturity that he has. He already has shown maturity in the fact that he wasn't a diva wide receiver throughout these contract negotiations. He could have held out forever last year because he didn't get his contract. He didn't do it. He played. And then he almost tore apart his hamstring. So there was reason to sit out the rest of the season because of his hamstring. He could have drawn it out. He could have been like, I'm just not feeling 100%. I just don't feel good. Came back. That's maturity. TJ Hawkinson, the previous offseason, was saying he had a little ear issue. And then he had a back issue. And he wasn't practicing because he was holding out. JJ shows up regardless of his contract situation. I believe he would have been at the start of mandatory minicamp regardless if he signed his contract extension or not. But going back to his comments about J.J. McCarthy, he speaks about his ability to make plays at the beginning. I trust myself regardless of which quarterback is out there, but I trust the quarterback throwing me the ball either way. He could have easily came out and said and made a massive excuse, which is kind of legit. I mean, you lost to your top 10 quarterback in the league last year for Nick Mullins and Jaron Hall and Josh Dobbs. Are you kidding me? He could have came out and said something like, oh, you know what? I had bottom feeders in the NFL throwing me the football. I couldn't put up the numbers that I wanted to put up because I had a guy named Jaron Hall and Nick Mullins throwing me the football. And these guys wouldn't be starters on any NFL team anywhere. These guys are UFL Canadian quarterbacks. And they're throwing me the football. He could have said, he could have put the blame on the situation. No, he didn't do that. He was very mature in his answers. And then what he also talked about is his role as the wide receiver and his role on the team with Kirk Cousins gone. He is stepping up and taking on a leadership role. And he is going to come alongside J.J. McCarthy. He's already called him a couple of times, called him right after he was drafted. His contract situation still wasn't fair. How many wide receivers in the league would have done that? Here, maybe one. And his name is Justin Jefferson, and he is on the Minnesota Vikings. How many guys would do that? I don't think very many. So he is coming alongside J.J. McCarthy and showing him the ropes. He's talked about being the main point of contact, giving him the confidence. Now, confidence, J.J. McCarthy's got to do that himself. I mean, he's got to make throws throw touchdowns without the interceptions to gain his own confidence, because confidence can only go so far from other people. He's throwing 5 touchdowns and 20 picks in a season. I don't care who's giving you confidence. You're not going to believe in yourself. So the confidence thing, I mean, he can give him a little confidence, Moneyball, you're a picking machine. Go back to Scotty Hatteberg playing first base. You're a picking machine. Yeah. It's like, that ain't going to give you very far. You got to perform yourself, and then the confidence will come. But the things that he is saying, the leadership role he is taking on, he wants to be the face of this franchise, and he is the most mature wide receiver in NFL history that's as good as he is that I have ever seen. Maybe there's more mature guys out there, but he's the most mature wide receiver that I've ever seen. Way more mature than Randy Moss. I mean, not even close. He's on another stratosphere. As Bill Walton would say, he's on a stratosphere. The mountain is moving and the wind is howling. And Justin Jefferson, they call him Jets, is moving through the ocean and scattering his remains all over the NFL outcomes and the teams. R.I.P. Bill Walton. Love you, man. But JJ, Justin Jefferson, and J.J. McCarthy, it seems like they already have a great relationship. And it appears, by what he's saying, and I believe him, I believe he's going to follow through with his actions. Justin Jefferson is going to be the unquestioned leader for the Minnesota Vikings on the field and off the field. He's a beast. Thank you, everyone, for watching this podcast. If you are watching, please reply downstairs in the comment section. The question that I answered. Huh? I want you to answer that question yourself and put that in the comment section. But I also want you to subscribe. That's what I was actually trying to say. I just misspoke, so I kind of spun it and went a different direction, if you don't know what I mean. Hit that subscribe button right there. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please rate, review, and follow this podcast wherever you're listening to this podcast.